Before I start my discussion on custom filters, I'll take you back to the order by filter. In the previous video where I was talking about the order by filter, I have explained the method chaining and also that controller is about the data and comparatively directive is about the DOM. This is a beginner's course, so we will not be discussing a lot about controllers and directives here. And as this course is available on YouTube, you can watch this. But the next level course we discuss in detail if you want to really be an expert in Angular and AngularJS and just want to develop your own code or manage a already written high-end application. In that case, you would need to understand and watch the level 2, which is available on the website or on subscription to our website or our courses. Now, let's start the custom filter. If you have downloaded my example, then there's a problem with this code as you have downloaded it. If I open it in the server here, it doesn't give me the right value. You see that Angular expressions are output as it is. You can go ahead to the inspect element in the developer tools in the console and you will understand that it could not load your file. The issue is that in my original code I have given the folder name as JS. If you remove that, then the file is just below this, and that's my JavaScript file. So I do not have a folder, but I was mentioning a folder here, so I'll undo that. Now you see that I'm able to put my code out. It can run without any errors. Let's understand this. ng-app is using a name called my reverse filter app. Now this has to be defined, right? If you're using an Angular app name, then it must be defined somewhere. If not, then go ahead and look into your JavaScript files. We'll have a look at it later. Then I have a controller attached to this app. So inside the body, I have the div which has a controller. That means this is the Angular app to which I have this controller. And I remember controller is about operating on the data, the model. So now we have a model here which has a variable named greeting. So the model name is greeting and its type is text. That's why you see in the output that you have the text here, right? And whatever I type in here, right, this is being saved in this variable named or the model named greeting. Now, without any filter, if I'm just giving it out as greeting, you see that whatever I type is given out here in the second line here, right? The next one, I'm reversing it and I'm calling a filter named reverse. Now, this reverse filter is a custom filter. Now, in the third one, I'm taking reverse and also passing a parameter. And in the fourth one, I'm using just filtered greeting and I'm doing it using a controller. So let's get back to the JavaScript. Now in the JavaScript, as you have seen in the previous video, you can declare a module by giving a name and then do a method chaining to the filter, right? So I'm adding a filter and then you see I'm not putting a semicolon here. This is the end of the filter. If you notice this, the beginning of this parenthesis, it ends here and I'm not closing it because I want method chaining to happen. If you see I put a semicolon, you see that the editor tells me that there is a possible issue here. So I let it go and I have this filter which has been created and then I do a method chaining on this. So all these are being called on my Angular module, this module name, right? So I have an app filter and a controller. In the filter, the way to create your custom filter is to give it a name and then define it. Now you know again why we were talking about anonymous functions in our YouTube video series of JavaScript for AngularJS. So I recommend you go ahead and watch that. It is very difficult to accept a function without a name. You know, normally we would have a function name like this assigned to a variable that has a return type and all these stuffs. But if you're trying to learn Angular without understanding JavaScript completely, or at least specifically for AngularJS, a special course that I've prepared, you must watch that. Okay, now you have an anonymous function, and it is here, right? So this anonymous function will return another function. So now this is anonymous function, which means reverse is this. Okay, this is what reverse is. That's the name of this function. This function is anonymous, but we refer it using reverse, and this is what it does. It returns another function. Again, returning another function where you're defining it right away, right? You're not returning a variable, you're returning another function directly. Now this is a simple single return statement. This whole stuff is a single return statement. You look at this, it begins here and it ends here. So this whole stuff is a return statement, one statement, which in itself is a function and you're defining it there itself. So again, I insist that you understand anonymous functions in JavaScript. So now that you're doing our function declaration here, it takes two parameters, input and uppercase. Okay, whatever is the second parameter, we will store its value in this uppercase variable and input in the input variable. Now to this input, I'm just assigning it input if it has a value, or I'm giving it a empty string. Now and the output, I'm giving it an empty string. So now I do a for loop of that. So it's a simple for loop as in JavaScript, and then I take the input as the character at the first instance and I concatenate to the out, and then I go ahead and take it the second instance and then I concatenate to the out. In this way I'm reversing it. Now then I go ahead and check in this code if uppercase, that means I'm expecting it to evaluate to true or false, because this is a condition, right? So uppercase, the second parameter could be true or false. Let me check what am I passing if the second parameter is true. Okay, so I'm passing this as true or false, and if it is true, I'm converting. This is a string, right? And to the string I can call the JavaScript method called to uppercase, and it returns converts it. So whatever is the output, whether this or later you go ahead and do an uppercase, I return the out. This is how the reverse will work. So I'll take you to this code. Let us see the call to the reverse. I have a simple reverse and it reverses that, right? If I do reverse with a filter second parameter, then it is converting to uppercase here. You can do the same stuff using a controller, and this is how you can do it using a controller. I'm calling a reverse filter here, and it takes a string and it passes on. More details on how this reverse filter works for controller is actually a detailed discussion in our level 2 course, which may not be on YouTube, which will be available exclusively on our website or to those who subscribe to our classroom or online sessions. If you're interested, look into the comments on how to proceed on this. Thank you.